Hi, this is Bev. Today I was asked, how do you make the angle of a letter follow the letter if you are using manual digitizing tools rather than the built-in fonts? And so here goes. I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools, and it is called the block digitizing tool. That tool is found on the left-hand side of the screen in the second column about halfway down. The first thing that I'm going to do is change the color of my thread so that it is not the same color as the graphic D that you see in the background. Then I'm going to select the block digitizing tool. I'll show you how this works. Once it is selected, that tool actually works in pairs. So in other words, we do not trace the outline of the design, we trace one from the left to the right or top to bottom, and I'm going to show you right now. So in this open area, I'm going to click straight across, change the angles. Now these lines that you see happening in the horizontal position are stitch angle lines. So what I am doing right now is I am creating that weird shape that you see with an angles or with those angles, and when I hit enter on the keyboard you can see how the stitches follow, and if we touch the T key you can see a little bit better in terms of how the angles change. Right here the angle has changed, it moves along, and then it's by the time it gets down here the angle is running in this direction. If we select that by clicking on it using the pointer tool and then select the third icon down, which is reshape object, you can see very clearly where those angles are. So the first angle change was here. So what happened is this started stitching on a 0-degree angle, and by the time it got here it was on this angle, and then it switched to this angle. It is easy to change those by grabbing these little handles and moving them, and the angle will then change. So you can edit any shape you made. What I just did was a left mouse click. So we're going to delete this one, and I will show you what the right mouse click does with that tool. Select the block digitizing tool again and use right mouse clicks. They look exactly the same until we get to this set. All of a sudden we are now curving. The right mouse click works just like it does in the regular digitizing in that it creates a curved line with the same stitch angle. So when you select the object and then go to the reshape object, you can see all of my clicks and how I worked along, and I can make it wider if I choose to. We can change the angles of some of them, touch the select object tool, and your shape is redone again. So you can create objects using that tool. It is one of my favorite tools because I can have multiple angles in any angle that I want. I can work through. The only thing you need to remember is do not click on the same side twice. If you do, I'll delete this one and show you what can happen. So we'll delete this, and now I'm going to select the block digitizing tool again, and I will click left, right, 3, 4, 5, 6. You notice all my odd numbers are in one side and my even on the other. This time I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to stay on that side, and we end up with a bow. So you may want to have a twist in there, but if you ever get one of these in your design, it means you did not go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I did 7, 8. So I switched the odds and evens so that the odd numbers were on the opposite side. So that's just a little point of reference there that you may need to know. We'll delete this, and we'll now take a look at this D. When you are working with letters, you're going to have curved shapes and straight shapes. So when I look at the letter D, this is just a graphic in the background because unfortunately I cannot draw. We need to take a look at angles again. So let's select the block digitizing tool and start in the top corner and click, and then go to the inner corner to create that angle. So in other words, the top of the D, when it comes around from the other side, is going to miter with it. Then move down, click, and across to the point and up. And I find that when I'm doing a straight line, the least amount of points I put in, the better, because the software will stay much straighter than I ever could. We're now going to go to, okay, now that I've been talking, I can't remember what side I was on, so I have to go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to happen to you if you're not concentrating like I wasn't. So we're going to select that, click on it, and we'll keep going. So I've got my left mouse click. Now I'm hitting the curved area here. So I think what I'm going to do is switch to a right mouse. Keep right mouse clicking because I'm in the curve. And you notice how I've got my angle lines going. Now up here I will go to a left mouse, and don't panic because it's going to first look like maybe your shape isn't following, but it will. Just have a little faith when you're clicking, especially with the curves. The straight lines pretty much stay on, but the curves do not actually take effect until you're a few clicks away. And the last one, and right on top, hit enter, and there is the D digitized. So very easy to do. If we hit the T key on our keyboard, you will see what that looks like in stitches, and you can see the angle running in here and running in this area. So I have created almost a radial fill going around my D. It is that easy. If you were really going to stitch this out, remember you need to deal with underlay and many other things. But one other thing I would like to talk about, if I select the D and go to the fill stitch, which is a step that I happen to have selected, and go to satin, and select satin, we'll get a much smoother letter, and then I'm going to touch the T key on my keyboard. And what you need to look at there, and we'll zoom in so you can see it, is that your satin stitch is nice straight lines. If you find you have major broken lines in there, and this one looks okay, if you find you have major broken lines, that means is the stitch length, the satin stitch length is too long. The rule of thumb for satin stitches in any digitizing is it should not be longer than 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter in length. I hope this helps you use the block digitizing tool. It is one of my favorite tools. Happy digitizing from Bev.